I was talking to a CFO recently who was bragging about how he had really accurate attribution reports from his marketing department, and I kind of chuckled a little bit. When I had a deeper conversation with him, it turns out that he was basically turning his chief marketing officer into an amateur data scientist. And that chief marketing officer was spending upwards of 40% of their time resolving who was getting leads and who wasn't, and which channels were performing best and who wasn't. And in theory, you might say, oh, well, that's got to be marketing leadership's job. They need to figure out which things are working and which isn't so they can improve their strategy. But I've typically found that the more time marketers and marketing leaders spend on attribution, the more time they're not spending on trying new channels and iterating on their approaches. They're not having enough time to be creative, drive strategy, because they're really nitty-gritty trying to figure out, where did this lead come from? Did we get the attribution UTM source right? Should I fund this one event or that one thing? And they get lost in the details, all in order to produce this fine, nice report for CFOs to justify their budget. And if marketers are stuck in this cycle of propose a budget, get the budget approved, and then spend all your time trying to justify that you spent the money right instead of generating leads, you're actually hurting pipeline overall. And I get it. You have to create trust with your team that you are capable of generating pipeline. And so you can't just push back on the team and be like, no, I'm not going to report on how we're generating pipeline. So instead, I think the right balance is for marketing and finance to get into a room, CMO and CFO, and really hash out what is the bare minimum attribution or reporting requirements that the board needs to see to feel comfortable continuing to work and fund the company. If the company is striving for profitability, I understand why there's a tight thumb on everything spent, and honestly, marketing should and probably is the largest cost center. However, if the CFO and the CMO can realize that if the marketing team can spend more of their time generating new channels, creating new reports, and just getting volume out the door, they're more likely to generate more pipeline than if they were spending all of their time trying to figure out the perfect attribution model. And I know that can be scary to some CFOs and CMOs because they don't have common ground or clear data to work off of, but actually it has led to higher pipeline overall. We've talked to several of our customers and we ask them, hey, what do you have to report up to your CFO? And they say, well, we do aggregate pipeline and that's basically about it. Our finance team trusts us to iterate and try different channels to see what works and what doesn't. And we try to spend all of our time, if not 100% of our time, focused on new initiatives and creativity and strategy to drive pipeline, because usually that will lead to higher, faster results than trying to get in the nitty-gritty of figuring out whether this channel or that channel led to $500 or $1,000 more in pipeline.